Hi, I'm Leif with Enduro Campers, and this is our 200 series Land Cruiser camper build. So Enduro campers, we build lightweight composite off-road focused truck campers. So this is our first Land Cruiser that we've done, but primarily we've done full-size and mid-size campers that are frame mounted as well too. So there's no flatbed on this. So this one is permanently mounted and attached to the Land Cruiser. So this is a 2021 Land Cruiser 200 series Heritage Edition, low mileage. And so with this camper and this build is really focused on, the off-road performance and keeping it as light as possible. So the weight on this, we're still well under GVWR with this. By removing the rear cab, all of the weight that came off, we didn't really put much weight back onto the truck. And so the basic construction, so it's a foam core fiberglass composite sandwich panel with a honeycomb floor, and then our own fabricated aluminum mounts that tie into the chassis. And so on the outside, so we have our gull wing door going up, and as you can see, the panels are curved and bent so that it gives it more of a taper to the camper, keeps it tight on the trails, a little more aerodynamic, that sort of a thing. And then as we have the built-in steps down here that slide in and out of, and are integrated into the camper. Makes it easy getting inside and out. We have the 270 awning, we have exterior lighting, we have the integrated fuel filler. So this truck has a auxiliary fuel tank from Long Range America. So it's an additional, I think 28 gallons, I believe, could be wrong, but really expands the range of the vehicle. And that replaces the spare tire underneath. And so we have a custom spare tire carrier on the back that we did in-house. And so this one is meant to, so you can lift the tire up nice and easy, slides on, and also has a receiver hitch for a bike rack, so you can put a bike rack on here. And then we have the third brake lights, Baja Design's third brake light, rear view camera, lighting, and there's the backup camera down below as well too. And then we have the factory blind spot monitors mounted on the rear as well too. So keeping all the stock functionality. Yeah, blind spot monitors here. And then on this side, so we have the outdoor access. So on our campers, we really prioritize storage, especially outdoor accessible storage. So this is accessible from inside and outside. So we have motion sensor lights on the inside in here as well too, L-track, carpeting. And then we have the Arctic Turn window up here, dual pane windows. This is the outdoor shower. So this is a outdoor quick connect shower. So there's a hot water heater inside, so we'll come back around to that. And then we have auxiliary solar input and the shore power 120 volt charging and power supply for the camper as well. So we have the overhang over the front too for the sleeping platform, and we'll look at on the inside. So on our campers, we do a fully insulated tent, 3-layer windows that completely open up as well too. So a lot of window opening, so it's fully insulated. So we consider this a 4-season camper. And so out here, so we have outdoor faucet on this side. So there's a quick connect here. So you have filtered drinking water out of an outdoor faucet. Should grab the quick connect. And then your tank fill over here. And then this is your water system area. So there's a hot water heater, there's a lot going on in there. So your pump, there's a Guzzle H2O UV water filtration system, all your valving, winterizing capable, drain. And so we'll look at the sink above on the inside. So a lot of room in here. On a small vehicle, so there's quite a bit of space. You can hang out, seating for 4 or more. And you can see the windows here. So these windows, so insulated layer, clear vinyl layer, and a mesh layer. And then these windows also completely open as well too, which is actually really nice. So they completely open up, so you get a free and clear, access to the outside. So you don't have to look through the mesh if you don't want to. A lot of great cross ventilation in here. So overhead lights, really nice German RE Global lights there. All controlled through the Switch Pros. So this is our control center here. So you have the Switch Pros, Bluetooth capable switching system, and dimmable, all these programmable features. And then so we have a 120 volt outlet here with USB and USB-C. And then the inverter controller here for the Xantrex 2000 watt inverter. And then here, so dual USB-C fast charging there. And Victron battery monitor. And then this is the controller for the S-Bar gasoline heater. So the gasoline heater, the exit is down there. So that draws fuel from the gas tank of the truck. So you don't have to carry any propane or any extra fuel like that. And then you have your water tank. So we have an 18-gallon water tank in here. We have the induction cooktop in here, additional drawer storage. So all the countertops, this is all Richlite, really nice material, really lightweight. So all the cabinetry in here is all honeycomb panels and aluminum with the Richlite countertops to keep the weight really, really low. And then the sink here, so this folds down because the bed platform folds down and covers this area. So you have additional storage underneath here, underneath the sink as well too. So quite a bit of storage in here. Big focus for us. And there's actually even more storage. Our coffee collaboration here. So there's more storage underneath here. So you have a little bit of cubby storage here as well. And then underneath the benches, so actually on the rear storage here, so we've designed this storage area around the Step 22 Stingray flat pack boxes, which are a really nice storage solution. So these fit, nicely in here. And so there's magnets. So we've added magnets to this so these don't fall out. So you grab it, it goes in, they pop against the magnets. So these aren't going to come out when you're driving. And they're upside down because now you can, open them this way and you can access your clothing and your gear without actually having to take it out if you don't want to. Love to flip these around, but this is how they go in. And so storage cubbies. So this is for your bedding area. You've got storage everywhere in here as well. So this is the access to the outdoor storage area that we looked at outside. So a lot of storage in here. And then this side, more storage under the bench. This is also sized for a wrap-on toilet as well too, so you can put a toilet in here as well. And then on this side over here, so everything's on magnets to keep it from rattling. And then in here we have the electrical system, so 200 amp hour lithium, deep cycle systems, all the Victron goodies, chargers, solar chargers, and then you have the Switch Pros, the switching in there too, all done to a really high level, ABYC compliant. We do not mess around with the electrical. There's the 2,000 watt inverter is actually on the other side, tucked behind the seat back there. Fitting all this into a tight space. And then, close this. And then under here is the water tank. So you have an 18-gallon water tank underneath here. So all the weight is essentially located in forward of the axles, which is really important for performance. So all the weight, and then the fridge is over the axle. So it keeps all the weight up here, central. And then up top, there's the sleeping platform that folds down. So it's just the gas struts keep it against the ceiling. So it's adjustable based on what bedding you have up there. And this just comes down really nice and easy. Like I said, I have to move the gear over there, but this comes down and ends at the back of the galley here, so you can still stand behind the bed platform as you get out of bed. You don't have to disassemble the bed at all, so you can just push this up, push it forward. And this is an X-bed mattress, so it's like semi-deflated, to make it fold all the way forward. And then you can see the bulkhead area, so it doesn't have a pass-through. So it's, we have a frame that's been welded to the cab where we cut it, and then a frame on this side, so it's permanently mounted, bonded, and bolted through. So we've had this thing off-road the last week and it performs fantastic. And then on the roof, 600 watts of solar, and there's a Starlink up there as well too. So yeah, manual roof lift, so you just kind of pull it up and down, goes up and down nice and easy as well. And then on this side we have the isotherm 85 liter fridge, and so nice big fridge, freezer compartment up top here too. And it's placed here because you can access it from the outside. So you don't have to get into the camper to access the fridge, which is really nice.
Hey guys, Walt Wagner here with TAV. We've got a pretty special project that we're unveiling here at Overland Expo in Flagstaff, Overland Expo West. And what we're going to talk about is the 2021 200 Series Land Cruiser that we partnered with Enduro Campers on. And Leif had already gone through what the camper was how it was designed and how it was built. But what I'm going to do is go through what our portion of this build was, and that was the body armor, the suspension, and how the suspension needs to handle the load of the camper and how this truck is going to be driven. So what this is basically is a 2021 Toyota Land Cruiser 200 Series. We're doing what we call our long travel setup. It's about 1.5 inches wider per side. So you have longer control arms, upper and lower control arms, longer coilovers and shocks, and we can run a little bit larger tire. So this tire is a 35-inch tire, and it's that longer travel suspension and shock dampening capability allows this truck to support the weight of the camper, which is actually very, very light, and we'll kind of get into those numbers in a little bit, but the way it's balanced is it's there to control the moving mass of this truck over varying terrains. So we do a couple different things with a sway bar system, because this has a KDSS system in it that we actually eliminated to make the truck handle better and not have a computer kind of counteract what the driver's wanting to do. So we eliminated the KDSS system, relying on spring rates and shock valving to control the truck. So that's total chaos, upper and lower control arms in the front. On this truck, we're running a Radflow shock and coilover shock in the rear, and the bumper itself is made by Descent Off-Road, and we're running a come up 12,500 pound winch in there, which is typical for most of the trucks that we're building. So the come up 12,500 pound winch is in here. We kind of leave this area open so you can actually see your winch drum. If you have to operate a winch, it's nice to be able to see what's going on with the drum. So we leave all this open. And that's what's cool also about the Descent bumper, is it keeps your fair lead and your hook and everything down below that. So you can have this where in place, but then you can also see your drum. We like to relocate the remote, the plug for the remote, the winch remote here, but this is a wireless remote, so you have two remotes. We put one of them right out on the face of the bumper, and it's kind of out of harm's way here. So you don't actually have to reach down inside to plug your remote in, it's just right there. One other key feature that I really did like about this, a lot of people might ask, well, your lights, you know, the Baja Designs squadrons are pointed kind of at an angle on the bumper. Where that really helps and why that's nice is if this vehicle is behind somebody and you're looking in your mirror and these lights are on, they're not directed, the beam isn't directed straight forward at the vehicle. It's actually pointed off to the side, so it's not intrusive for the vehicle in front of you. And as an amber light, your eye picks up on that really well. So if you're in a convoy down a dirt road and you've got a ton of dust, this is a white truck right now, but when a car is coming the opposite direction as your convoy and there's a lot of dust, they're driving into a lot of dust, they can see that amber light really, really well. That stands out very well. So it's a really good functional aspect, and it kind of lights off to the side of the truck too. For down the road lights, we're running the LP9. This is a driving combo. These, you will see these on most of the builds that we do, because you have several lights going on here. You have a low power, which is your bottom diodes on low power, and high power is all 9 diodes, and then you have a corner light that comes on out this direction, and they cross beams from each other, and it's a nice wide pattern, and it's also really far down the road. When the truck is on, you've got a nice little amber backlight in here as well, so it just kind of makes the truck very easy to see. Another thing, that this bumper, you can run this bumper. We've done another truck with this same bumper without the bull bar. So this is kind of a modular bumper. This one we decided to do this bull bar, and it's one of my favorite ones because it's actually very, very lightweight. The bar itself is extremely lightweight, and it ties in on the top of the bumper and then in on the sides. So it's extremely strong, and it protects the lights in a perfect way. Behind the wheel, the only thing you can really see is the top bar, and even then it's still pretty low. So functionally, it's a lot of protection, and it's lightweight, and it works out perfect for this kind of platform. Kind of moving back a little bit, talking about the wheel and tire on this. Like I mentioned, it's a 35-inch tire. This is the Toyo RT Trail. It's been out for a couple of years now. It's been working, or about a year or so, year and a half, working out really good. We've used this in multiple applications, and it's mounted to, so it's a 35, 1250, 17-inch tire, and it's mounted to the Method Race Wheel 703 with the bead grip technology. Kind of moving back to some more of the body armor, we're working with Metal Tech on the sliders here, and kind of the beauty of this truck is we didn't want to stretch the chassis. We didn't want to stretch the frame of this. We wanted to do all of this, get all the living space and the performance of the camper on a stock wheelbase truck. So we're running, the front and rear bumpers, and the sliders can all be put on any 200 series Land Cruiser. And you can lift the side of this truck up with right on the side of the slider here. Continuing on with some of the body armor on this, we're running the Descent Off-Road aluminum skid plates as well. So it's a 3-piece skid plate system. We left that raw, it's a good looking system under there. Kind of moving back a little bit to the rear bumper to kind of showcase some of the functionality of it. So this is Descent's rear bumper for the 200 series Land Cruiser, and we wanted to keep all of this as if this was like a bolt-on piece. And this is normally set up for a dual swing out. So their swing out mount to these 4 bolts. So I worked with the engineer over at Enduro Campers on building this tire carrier because we didn't want any moving parts. And where the camper is mounted on here, it's mounted on the factory body mount locations, and it's kind of built around this bumper. So knowing the shape of this, we wanted to design the tire carrier with no moving parts. So it bolted into 2 locations, and we wanted this to be the strongest piece back here. And so there was no deflection or flex in this arm itself. So everything is keywayed, laser cut, keywayed, welded, and then wrapped. So everything that would be a junction is now extremely solid. And this tire is one of the easiest tire carriers to put a tire on. You can literally just lift it right up onto these 2 posts, slide it over this receiver hitch that is actually set up for a bike rack. We put a like a UHMW piece up here, so you can just spin the tire on it without scarring the tire to get your lug nuts lined up, and then just put it on. And these are the same lug nuts that's on the wheels on the truck. So very, very simple system back here. The A-frame of the tire carrier itself comes up, and that houses your camera for your rear view mirror that you can actually move up and down. You've got a rear light here, and then this is a Baja Designs brake light, or it's a tail light. So it's an incredibly bright 3rd brake light for us. The max straps are actually going to be mounted on top of this, and we're going to be working on a molly panel on the back so we can have some of the mounting company mounts on here with cases for recovery gear and other things like that, just kind of spread out on this rear bulkhead. Kind of moving back around a little bit on this particular bumper from descent, it uses the factory receiver hitch. So we've got factory towing capacity of the receiver hitch. They incorporate more Baja Designs, flush mounts, S2 Pros back here in a work scene, so it's a really wide pattern. Good recovery points, your trailer plugs, everything is operating, and your sensors operate like normal. We also have another camera pointing down right up under the tire, so you can see if you had a receiver a hitch on here or something like that, you can see right below it without having any intrusion. The side approach monitor, like sonar and all that stuff, the cross traffic feature for these trucks is all functional like it would be from the factory. And we also put in, that you can't really see, the LRA long range fuel tank. So it's 24 gallons of auxiliary fuel on top of the factory capacity of this truck. So you've got almost 50 gallons of fuel capacity on this. So with all of the weight that came off of the truck that Leif took off the truck, and then adding the camper with all of the fuel, this truck is still within GVW, and it handles like a much smaller and lighter weight truck. So with the kind of wrapping up the rear suspension, to support this, we do a lot of custom spring rates for coil springs, but this particular one is running a heavy spring rate from Ironman 4x4. And we may play with spring rates here in a little bit, and maybe some shock valving, but we're pretty close to where we like it to be for the support of this truck. But other suspension components are Total Chaos upper and lower links with an adjustable track bar, and that adjustable track bar is also mounted to a Dr. Katie SS bracket that relocates one end of the track bar and keeps it more in line with the axle, making the vertical movement up and down with this more in line and straight like a stock truck. So it doesn't want to wobble or anything. When you're moving forward and you hit something straight on, the truck moves straight up and down like it should, instead of having a strange wobble to it. The drivetrain on this, we are running 488 nitro gears front and rear, and we're also running the Eaton E-Locker front and rear. So this truck is triple locked, factory center diff lock on it, but then we also have an electric locker front and rear, which is selectable. I think that kind of rounds out our portion of what we were doing on this build. We kind of knew, building other Land Cruisers, we knew what kind of valving and spring rates we wanted to start with, so we were able to kind of fine tune that with after the camper was on. So with this being the first prototype of this, we've got it pretty much 90%, and we're really happy with the handling characteristics of it. We've already been rock crawling with it. We've had it in the sand on sand dune climbs, out on the highway driving here. This truck's got to be able to do everything really well, and not excel just in one spot. We want it to do a lot of things really well. So, and if you want any more information on this, definitely hit us up at the shop. We're TAV LLC on our website. All of our contact information, our YouTube channel, Tactical Application Vehicles, is on there as well. Quick, easy links to social media, TAV LLC on Instagram, Tactical Application Vehicles on YouTube, and then our website is just tavllc.com.